Every year, after NEET, thousands of students ask the same question. Sir, should I repeat NEET? Unfortunately, many people answer this question in less than 30 seconds. What's your score? What's your rank? Okay, repeat or don't repeat, take whatever seat you get. According to an estimate, 8 to 11 lakh students repeat NEET every year on an average. And I think many take such quick decision. I believe the decision deserves much more thought because repeating NEET is not merely an academic decision. It is a 1 year life decision. So, instead of giving you a direct answer whether you should repeat or not repeat, let me help you arrive at your own answer. So, I urge you to ask yourself these 4 questions honestly. The first question, is MBBS really your dream? A few years ago, I met a student who wanted reassurance before repeating NEET. During counseling, I asked him a very fundamental question. Why do you want to pursue MBBS? I thought I was asking a routine question and waited for the familiar answer. Maybe he would say, Sir, I always wanted to become doctor, or I want to serve people, or medicine is my passion, etc. But his answer revealed a completely different story. Sir, I took biology in my 11th standard. NEET and MBBS are the best things to do after taking biology, no? I paused for a moment after listening to the answer. Is it a rule? Is it a ritual? Is it a formality? Absolutely not. We spent another 30 minutes discussing his interests, strengths, and aspirations. And see what? By the end of that conversation, he realized something surprising, that he was actually more excited about technology than medicine. He wasn't chasing his dream children. He was following what he thought was the default path after choosing biology. And that brings us to the first and perhaps the most important question. Is MBBS truly your dream, or is it somebody else's dream? Because repeating NEET for your dream is difficult. Repeating NEET for somebody else's dream is almost impossible. This may sound harsh, but it is important. Some students genuinely dream of becoming doctors. Others simply entered the race because parents suggested it, friends were preparing, school environment pushed them, society glorified it, or we are conditioned that it is the way to go. If MBBS is not genuinely your dream, repeating the entire year becomes very difficult because motivation cannot be borrowed for 12 long months. If the dream is yours, well and good. If the dream is someone else's, please pause and rethink your choice. The second question that you have to ask before joining Repeat NEET. Do you know exactly where your first attempt fell short? During academic reviews and counseling sessions, I often ask my students a simple question. What are your strengths and weaknesses in current NEET preparation? Interestingly, most students struggle to answer. I usually hear generic responses like, Sir, I am good at theory but weak in numericals. Or, Sir, physics is difficult for me. Or, organic chemistry is my weakness. But occasionally, I come across a student who says something like this. Sir, I'm comfortable with electrostatics, but I lose marks in current electricity because I make calculation mistakes. Or, my concepts in genetics are clear, but I struggle with multi-step application questions. Or, Sir, I know inorganic chemistry, but I forget the details because my revision cycle is weak. And now, that is a completely different conversation because such students are not merely aware of their marks. They are aware of the reason behind their marks. And whenever I meet students with that level of clarity, my excitement knows no bounds because improvement becomes predictable. Now ask yourself honestly, do you know exactly why your first attempt fell short? Not what subject was weak, not what chapter was difficult. Do you know the actual reasons? Because if you don't know why you fell short this year, how will you ensure a different result next year? That's why the second question is not how many marks did you score? The second question is, do you understand your preparation well enough to improve it? Suppose a student scores 550 this NEET, another scores 350. Can both repeat? Yes. Can both succeed? Yes. But their situations are very different. The student at 550 may be just a few improvements away, whereas the student at 320 or 350 may require a complete rebuilding process. Neither situation is impossible, but honesty is essential. So ask, am I refining or am I rebuilding if I join Repeat-NEET? Because the strategy for both is completely different. That takes us to our third question. Are you ready for another year? Our 2024 NEET batch had 2 general merit students who scored around 570 marks and narrowly missed seat allotment. One student joined a long-term NEET program. The other chose engineering. Knowing his potential, I was surprised by his decision. So I asked him, are you sure you don't want to give NEET one more serious attempt? His answer was immediate, honest, and surprisingly mature. Sir, studying is not my biggest fear. Seeing my friends enter college while I stay back is my biggest fear. I paused for a moment because there was no academic problem in his answer. There was an emotional reality, and that reality matters. Because if a student already knows that watching others move ahead will constantly affect his focus, confidence, and motivation, then repeating NEET becomes much harder than simply studying physics, chemistry, biology again. That's why the third question is not about the academics. It is about your mindset. Can you watch your friends joining colleges while you continue preparing? Can you remain motivated even in October, December, February? Can you avoid comparison with others? And most importantly, can you handle occasional self-doubt? Repeating is not difficult because of biology, physics, or chemistry, children. It is difficult because it tests your emotional endurance. And if you are mentally prepared for that journey, you already possess one of the biggest advantages that repeaters can have. Moving on to the fourth question that you should ask. What happens if I don't repeat? Many students ask, what if I repeat and fail? But very few ask, what if I don't repeat and regret it forever? Ask yourself honestly, if you join another course this year, will you be at peace? Or will you spend next 5 years wondering, what if I had given myself one more attempt? The answer differs for every student, and the answer matters. I have met students who repeated and were happy with their decision. I have also met students who joined another course and were equally happy. The common factor was not decision, the common factor was conviction. They made a choice and committed to it. So what's the verdict? In my experience, students who should seriously consider repeating NEET usually satisfy 4 conditions. Condition 1, MBBS is genuinely their dream. Condition 2, they understand why they fell short in the previous year. Condition 3, they have a realistic strategy for improvement this time. And condition 4, they are emotionally ready for another year with all their reasons in right place. If these 4 conditions are present, a repeat year can be a powerful investment. If most of these conditions are absent, repeating will simply delay another important year for you. So let me end with this. A repeat year is neither a failure nor a guarantee for success. It is just an opportunity. For some students, it becomes the year that changes their life. For others, a different healthcare pathway may be a better choice. The correct decision is not the one that sounds prestigious. The correct decision is the one that aligns with your dream, your preparation, and your reality. And only an honest answer to these 4 questions can reveal that reality. You must have noticed that none of these questions I ask you to ask yourself are about your score, rank, or category. Because repeating NEET is not decided by a number alone. If after honestly answering these 4 questions, you feel that repeating NEET is the right decision for you, the next challenge is finding the right ecosystem. Because repeating in NEET is rarely about studying more hours. It is usually about studying with better strategy, stronger accountability, and the right mentorship. Over the next few days, I'll be sharing a few videos on what a productive repeat year should actually look like, common mistakes repeaters make, and how you can fruitfully utilize that 1 year of Repeat-NEET. Stay tuned for many more useful videos. All the best.